Hi, everybody. Welcome to Normal World. Here's some jokes I wrote. With Dave. Quentin Tarantino has decided to pivot from film and begin writing a stage play based on one of his Pulp Fiction characters, the Gimp. The title will either be The Ass Menagerie or A Midsummer Night's Cream. Okay, moving on.
Just up there too long.
I like it.
No. Just still there. Still just
Lingering.
just staring at you.
Just keep reading.
All right, cool. During an appearance on Special Forces World's Toughest Test, Brody Jenner said he, quote, felt abandoned by his father, Caitlin, during his childhood years, to which Bruce Jenner's severed testicles responded, join the club.
That South Park rendition of him really has, or
Yep.
yeah, her, yeah, really
Buckle
is
up, buckaroo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't misgender her on the Blaze.
Sorry.
We don't
Not in
tolerate
this
that.
house.
Yeah, not in this house, not this family. All right. A Florida man who ate 9 pounds of cheese, butter, and hamburgers every day on a carnivore diet until he started oozing cholesterol from his pores. However, I am doing much better, and I'm glad to be guest hosting this week.
Welcome.
Carnivore is underrated.
You look great
I look pretty
It's
good.
working out.
for what's
We
going
saw
on.
the Lazy Eyewitness News. That was, you look buff.
Pretty sharp. Pretty fit. It doesn't do anything for my complexion, but I mean, it's been cloudy lately.
It's unfortunate.
Like just 70.
That's not
I
an
think I have
excuse.
some. I think I have a little color, but like 48 hours of cloud coverage, and it's just powder. Just Sean Patrick Flannery.
You look like the clouds.
Yeah, I blend in. Yeah, I'm like a chameleon.
Maybe that's just like your genes, though. You can't really do anything. That's not your fault.
It's Irish, right?
Yeah, you're
it's
just white.
It's part Irish, part German, and part Norwegian. So it's a lot of cold.
A lot going against you
A
there.
lot of cold alcoholism, which somehow skipped me. Knock on wood, but
Starting.
cool. And finally, singer Avery has revealed that she has the debilitating bone-thinning disease osteoporosis from just a year of Ozempic use, causing fans to wonder, who the hell is Avery?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Who? I've never heard this person
Never
in my
seen her.
life.
All right, thank you, everybody. Welcome to Normal World, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Ow.
That's Matt.
Yeah, I'm your guest host, Matt McClowry. Here with me is Quarter Black Garrett.
Ahoy. I'll say it for you. And in studio is Angela.
Hello, everybody. Let her in.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Dave's feeling a little under the weather, but hopefully he'll be in tomorrow.
There's a lot of stuff going around here.
And
You know, the old
I
I heard he has that
COVID-3
thing
is coming around.
that the girl from Poltergeist had.
Yeah.
A demon inside of them?
Impacted colon, I
Yeah,
believe
she
it was.
had Steven Spielberg.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's too dark for the show. It was way too early for
sorry.
dark.
I'm sorry.
But that look into it. It's a messed up story.
Oh, I don't want to burn that bridge.
You could still be a star.
Hire him.
Speaking of stars, Selena Gomez was in the news over the weekend. The rolling deportations have been going into effect, and a lot of criminals and other people, possibly not criminals, have been deported. And Selena Gomez had some feelings on it, so let's play that.
Just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
I know whenever I'm that upset, I go straight to portrait mode.
Oh yeah, get the phone in your hand, hit record because you need to show people. She immediately retacted it and took it down, saying that she's not allowed to be empathetic towards people. It's I don't know. It's we're kind of done with the celebrities doing their woe is me, trying to get sympathy. Like I just feel like people are over it. Like
People are over. We're
whole
done with
election's
it,
over
but
that.
they're not done with us. It'll take years and years and years to undo that. I think.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so you have a bunch of money, you could help people. why don't you could go out there and help people. Why aren't you doing that? She's like, I don't know what to do. Well, I don't know. You could do that. You could try to house people in Mexico, people that are having issues there. Try to find them homes there. Try to help people immigrate legally. There's a lot of stuff you could try and do.
I don't know.
Maybe recording a video and crying is not one of those.
No, celebrities pontificating at this point feels like one of those guys they find on an island who doesn't know the war is over yet.
Yeah. It's like, I'm still in it, man. Isn't there still a Japanese platoon out there somewhere in an island or in a foxhole still working?
Well, yeah, there's those German werewolf brigades in South America.
I think it's still going on, man.
South America, you say?
Or yeah.
Yeah, why would they be there?
They're here illegally. No.
Look, not all celebrities are bad. You know, some are trying to help. Some are trying to understand. Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Dr. Phil, he was on the scene in Chicago to see off a convicted sex offender and internet predator from Thailand, who was the first arrest under Tom Homan, kind of like the celebrity on the maiden voyage of a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
What's your name?
Seda what? You have a person that thing. Sorry.
I love how he's blurred out, like,
you
to
from?
maintain Dr. Phil's anonymity.
Like we don't quite know.
Who else is
Where you
the
from?
6'6" bald guy with the walrus mustache you can see through the smudge?
From the United States?
No.
Never been deported?
But I've been in the system before.
Yeah.
This is the
What
strangest
have you been
interaction.
charged with
Charged for it.
before?
What is it that you did?
What is it that you did to
you a
upset so
citizen?
many people?
My mother says it.
Your mother's a citizen,
Yes.
How do you feel about your
but you're
mother?
not?
Nope.
But you've never been deported before?
You know, son, just because you're full of duty doesn't make you a porta potty.
How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
This is the weirdest
Yeah, it's like, how do you know? How do you know me? You've been one of the most famous
exempt
people on the
sanctuary
planet
cities,
for a
right?
quarter
We
of
got
a
illegal
century.
aliens
That's how we know
convicted
you.
of Sex crimes involving children. And he's walking the streets of
Kick 'em.
Chicago. Again, the downfall, the problem with the sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents.
Yeah.
This is what we're dealing
Yeah.
with.
But yeah, he's
So
You've been
a
charged with sex
convicted
crimes with
sex
children?
offender. Send him to London where he'll walk free. Yeah.
No,
You know, when
really?
I first watched this,
government.
I thought it was one of those like dads finds
never been
predators
deported.
videos.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like that.
it feels set up. There's some weird element to
Let's
it
take him
that
in the
doesn't
process
feel
and lock him
natural.
up.
Got it, sir. All right. Is it a transport vehicle?
Maybe it's just a weird, awkward situation where you're about to be deported and Dr. Phil walks up and you're kind of like a deer in the headlights.
You're like, no shit, Dr. Phil?
Yeah, like what are you gonna do? You're like, oh damn, Dr. Phil's here?
Am I going to rehab?
I must be in some shit.
Wasn't the thing when you just saw that video, you're just like, it's 2025, why not? Yeah, why not?
It's like, what is this timeline we're in? Dr. Phil is out there on the streets on the beat. What was it that you brought it up? It's like
It's
Steven
Steven
Seagal.
Seagal.
It's like Steven Seagal. He's out there. He's got a badge. It's like, I'm gonna lock you up.
I'm on the streets,
Now,
baby.
what is it that you do? You're out here. You're going over borders and assaulting people.
Yeah, I could see him doing
not
like
good,
the whole
man.
like Spanglish kind of thing where he's trying to like how Steven
Yeah.
Seagal does, you know, where he's like, mamacita.
Look here, amigo.
Yeah,
We're
amigo.
gonna need to come to a consolidated here. Let's go have some queso.
Listen,
We'll
I'm
have
your
a
hombre,
conversation.
okay? And I'm not gonna hurt you.
We'll habla over some of this.
Yeah.
We're just this far from having Ricky Lake go to Gaza to try to sort that
What
out.
is she doing?
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe we should get her out there. She could bring the
She's
people
being
together.
real quiet.
Yeah.
What happened to Ricky Lake?
Eating.
No.
Wow. Hey, sorry, that. Everything kind of over the weekend has been all about the immigration because it's been such a massive topic. Trump came in and just started kicking people. It seems like they shut down the border like day 2. They started going out and arresting people. I mean, they're up to almost 2,000 people arrested or
Dude, it's
deported actively.
7,000.
7,000. Oh my
7.
God, maybe I'm running off of old information.
Yeah. Today,
But,
as
like-
of today, it was 7,000. As of Sarah Gonzalez show.
Oh, yeah, she's got a ticker on.
Yeah, she does.
They're putting on planes. There's people saying that, like, what was it, Argentina or one of those South American countries, or hit their president coming out and
Colombia.
saying, Colombia, that's right. They're like, we're not going to take them. It's been a big thing. It's like there's arguments. We know some people that may have been closer to kind of some people that got deported, and they have issues with it. And I understand that those issues, but like right now, it's hard to make a case why we shouldn't just get, like, if you're illegal right now, you know that you shouldn't be in the country. We're all telling you that you shouldn't be in the country.
Well, you know,
I kind of understand. I understand. Just like at this point, you got to put your foot down. You got to just say, look, we have to clean up shop.
I've been turned away at the border making a wrong turn into Canada, so I'm not the most sympathetic person in the world.
Everybody, right?
Which, yeah, if you're in Port Huron, Michigan, that can happen. Like there'll be you'll miss an exit, and then you'll just wind up in Canada.
But they're okay. That's Canada.
And they don't let you in.
No, they don't let me in. No.
You're scary.
Well, yeah, just see how easy it is to get into these other countries.
And there's a trend going on. I don't know if you saw this as well. There's like of people in Mexico or people that are here doing photo things where they're like leaning, or they're homeless and they're asking for change or something, and they say, I'm pretending to be an American when the deportment office comes, like ICE comes. It's like, well, why do you think a lot of those issues are happening? Because we have a completely open border that we don't vet anybody that goes through it. Like there's people that are just en masse going through, and it's not the little kids that's the problem. It's not the families that are just trying to work, though that's like you're not paying taxes, which is a problem. But that's not the main problem I think it's gotten everybody so pissed about. It's the crimes, it's the criminals, it's the murder, it's the rape, it's the drugs, it's all that shit. And when you see every single city that's full of fentanyl and zombies, and they're in the streets, and that stuff comes from the border. So, like, of course, at some point we need to put the foot down.
Become criminals because of the drugs that they're on,
right?
And are capable of committing way more heinous crimes than they were originally capable of.
So when you have Selena Gomez, oh, my people, it's not your people; it's the criminals that are committing crimes that are getting kicked. I've been on Twitter this entire time. I'm following the news on it. I've only seen, and maybe it's my bubble, but I've only seen criminals being kicked. That guy wasn't even from Mexico. He was a sex crime. He was violent sex crimes. Those are the people that I'm seeing getting kicked. I'm not seeing little kids. There was somebody that tried to guilt trip people into crying over it and saying, are Christians okay with this? Posting an AI image of an ICE officer pulling a little girl away from her family.
Well, that goes back to
that's fake. That's not even real.
The first Trump term, when they would have the pictures of the kids in the cages, and they'd be like, oh, wait, this in the lower right-hand corner is 2009.
Yeah.
It's selective outrage. That's all it is.
And he had a good point. The director of ICE had a good point. It's like when you go and arrest a drunk driver with their son or their daughter in the car, you're separating them from their family. But it's somebody that committed a crime. So they still should be separated. I don't know. It's just, it's a complicated issue. I understand that. I have the empathy of like, I don't like people being separated.
Have you ever read the book, The Night Dad Went to Jail? Mm-mm. It's a book for children that can explain that for you. You know?
Yeah, it's
about a sweet little mouse whose father broke the law. And it's never explicitly pointed out what said law the mouse broke was, but then he gets arrested, he did some bad things, he speaks to him through the phone on the wall, he has a cute little kitty social worker come and talk to him. But at the end of the day, we all accept that there's consequences for these crimes.
Yeah.
You know?
It's become such a hard topic to discuss because people have so many emotions tied up in it, and it is people.
Well, yeah, they're emotionally charged, and I've solved that by not talking to those people anymore.
I just wish there was a way to
the psychic load off my back is incredible.
It's incredible.
You have no idea, and that's not to say all of my liberal friends too, because there's a guy I'm friends with I can talk to for an hour about and never have politics come up one time. But too many of them just have this brain worm, and it's also they're people who are not. They're not giving you a good faith interpretation of your point of view, and they never have.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about nowadays is that we're actually learning not to anymore. It's like, why do you want to engage in good faith with somebody who, as Michael Malice says, is committed to deliberately misunderstanding you?
Yeah.
Well, and it's the media too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not giving you a good faith point of view on anything.
No.
And it's all about divisiveness and derision and everything. And it's like, I can understand how these people, you know, you see Selena Gomez and all these people who are so emotional about it because the media has worked this up into them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what.
And
I
get that.
That's what you could see in the interview with J.D. Vance over this weekend with Margaret Brennan.
To us in August, you said, I don't think we should abandon anybody who's been properly vetted and helped us. Do you stand by that?
Well, Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals
but there are
have been properly
30,000
vetted.
people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary concern
Hotel?
as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people.
Carpet looks
And now
weird.
that we know that we have vetting
I
problems
actually
with a lot of
feel
these refugee
weird
programs,
watching them
we
engage with
absolutely
old
cannot
media at this
unleash
point, don't you?
thousands
Yeah.
of unvetted
It's
people
like
into
it's
our
like sending a
country.
mail
These
through
people are
through
These
the
people are
Pony
vetted.
just like
Express.
the guy who planned a
It's like you
terrorist
don't
attack
have
in
to do
Oklahoma
it
a few
this
months
way
ago.
anymore.
He was allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly, he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly
Fair.
vetted. And because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, he
and
didn't.
that was a
Nuh-uh.
particular case
La 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 la.
for- while he was living here.
I don't really
But
care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country,
love
and I think
JD
most
Vance.
Americans agree with me.
That is
We'll be back
that is
in 1
so-
minute.
We'll be right back.
She's like,
We'll be right back. Finger guns, right to commercial. Yeah, I like J.D. Vance because his immigration policy seems to be, I do like the ones that are vetted and that aren't criminals and that are actually contributing to the society. Let's try to create a pathway to citizenship for that.
to get the best and the brightest into
I
our
love that
country who want to
idea.
come and help and contribute to our society and to our
and
country.
get the criminals out. And the constant argument is, oh, they're the criminal. They're not criminals. Every single immigrant that's illegal is a family. It's a little 8-year-old girl that's being separated from her father. And it's like, that's not the goal. I think the goal is to get. If they're not doing it this way, this is how they should be doing it. Put me in charge there. Throw me in, coach. They should be going straight for murderers, sex offenders, drug dealers,
Violent
and then
offenders.
violent offenders after that. Anybody else? Like, then we need to start thinking.
Like,
Well,
you
then you
take
need to start asking yourself, why were these people brought here in the first place? How'd they get here and to what end?
And how many times have they gone through the system, got kicked out, and they came right back?
Well, and put yourself
You're on the system.
in their position too, where it's like, you think like, I can come to this country. Like, look at the what's it called? Like, benefits that this country has offered to people, like possibly coming into this country. Not initiatives, but what's the right word? Incentives.
Yeah.
To give people to come here.
I couldn't
We're
even
gonna
go
give
to
you
a
money.
McDonald's with a maple leaf on the side and get a poutine.
You couldn't even get into
I
Canada.
couldn't get French fries with gravy.
Look
That's
at this
how
man's
hardcore they keep
skin.
it.
He's Canadian.
He could have blended in to the snow, and they wouldn't let him in. It's sad, but yeah, it's one of those problems. Like, I don't know if it'll ever go away because we're gonna have a border on. The problem is that we're bordering with we're bordering with a country that is objectively a horrible country. It's not the people. Look, people are great.
But just the
But
situation.
the infrastructure and the government of Mexico and other southern countries are horrible. That's why we're always going to have this issue. We don't really have the issue on Canada because it's like, whatever. Like, they're up there, they're doing their thing, and they're moderately, successful.
Yeah, well, it's generally accepted that Mexico has a few beautiful resorts and the rest is kind of beyond Thunderdome.
Exactly. So it's like we're always going to have this problem. It's
Well, it
unfortunate.
seems like
And of course they wouldn't want to come here.
the second Trump administration is kind of like putting an end to this, like, what's it called? Questioning benefit of the doubt sort of thing with them.
And I understand why. I understand why after immigration problem we've had for 30 years.
Well, it's after you've been called a Nazi. I'm old enough, to remember when cute little George W. Bush was considered the next Hitler, and 9/11 was his Reichstag fire. I mean, I heard it said about Mitt Romney.
Right.
For God's sake.
So it's like,
Romney.
it means nothing. And it's like, look, we just got to get the issues fixed. We have a massive problem with drugs and violent criminals coming across the border. We need to fix it. The only way to fix it is to put a wall up and say no more. Sorry, for a while we got to go no more coming in because we got to fix it.
I mean, if you had a better idea, great, let's hear it. But what they put on the table was more of the same.
Yeah, there's no idea. I don't know.
Let's just take a look at what they said at the White House press briefing, though, today, because they kind of combat that a little bit.
Carolina on immigration. Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
You may have to point at the worst first. They all have a criminal record.
And welcome to the briefing. If they broke our nation's laws, yes, they are criminal. Yes.
Yeah, she could have just ended on criminals and waited for the Thug Life glasses to come on.
Yeah, the boomer joke.
To the brief room.
Yeah, so like down to the fundamentals, they broke a law getting in here, so they are all criminals. It's unfortunate, but it is the reality. Come in the right way. It's difficult, and I think we should do some reform on immigration and make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It is a filter to try to only get the people that are willing to go through all those hoops, but maybe it's a little too complicated and we can try a little bit to alleviate that.
I do think it is too complicated and there are things that we can do to
I hear that
reform
a ton. I hear that a ton from people that I know that have immigrated from wherever, from other countries and like Europe. It's a very difficult thing to do. So maybe just alleviating that hurdle and getting good people to go through those things to immigrate into our country and actually provide, some kind of contribution to the country and not just be criminals.
Because there are tons of people have so much to add. Yeah.
Just not criminals that murder and rape people. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say, I don't want those in my country.
Driver's
get the ones that are in our country
are hard too, so you're just going to ride dirty. Yeah. It's just any matter of, this legal thing is hard, I'll just commit a crime.
Yeah, why not?
If you want to commit a crime, then fine.
Hard transition into the apocalypse. Who knows when it's going to come? 2020 was serious. There were people out there buying all the toilet paper up. It was a scarcity effect. It happens when you least expect it. And what do you need in times of crisis? Food.
My Patriot Supply.
It's My Patriot Supply. Get some good nutrients up in you for your Patriot Supply needs. Matt?
Oh, yeah. Okay, where
I would say just get some water with My Patriot Supply because you're going to need it to cook.
It's like things. Yeah.
Get, if you really want to prepare, get My Patriot Supply, get a couple gallons of water, and get a hot burner that runs on gas.
My Patriot Supply.
You're going to be prepared.
4 weeks of energy food in one. Look at that. You can get that 4 weeks energy food kit right now. Scan that right there. Get $50 off.
And if you don't want to share with your family, you can last longer.
That's right.
4 months.
That's right. That's all for you. Mm-hmm. You'd have to buy another bucket for them, but they have to get a job. They have to pay for their own buckets. But with this discount, you can get more buckets and there'd be more off. So there you go. Prepare with normalworld.com.
If you gain too much weight, you can't be denied a lift because the world has already ended.
This is true.
So true.
But we'll get to that later.
So go to preparewithnormalworld.com now to grab yours and only yours.
Don't put this off, guys. Now is the time to prepare.
Seriously.
It's preparewithnormalworld.com. Thank you.
I mean, this could be for anything, really,
Honestly,
like weather things happen. We had North Carolina and South Carolina had a lot of issues. California was without a lot of power and infrastructure. So outside of the apocalypse jokes and all that stuff, it's good to have some extra
I'll be honest with you. Do you think of me as the type of person who's a prepper?
No.
Right. I keep one of these in my garage. I keep a pack of toilet paper. I keep a water, and I keep gas and a burner.
That's like a practical.
It's just
thing.
Practical. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. Just keep that shit on standby.
I keep a generator.
Yeah. And you know what? Why not? Let's just do it.
Last hurricane, I found it didn't work.
So. You need to keep up with that.
Honestly, you never know. My house had a tornado.
That's right. Yeah.
You're out of water. You're out of power. You don't know what's going to happen. It could not be the end of the world. It could be something else. Just saying.
You know what? If it was the end of the world, I would be wanting to wear some Undertac underwear. Oh, they're so. Look, I don't need this. Undertack is the best underwear you will ever have in your freaking life, in your entire life. For the longest time, I was like, these cotton underwear that I'm wearing every single day, they're always making holes, and they're uncomfortable, and they beat up. And when you go out and you go to like the gym or something, it's very uncomfortable. I wish there was another way. Well, there is another way. Undertack.com. You could get your own underwear. I'm wearing them right now. Wear them every single day. Angela, there's female pairs.
They make ladies pairs now.
Ladies pairs.
They're so good. I was actually just talking to Garrett about it before the show. I wear them to bed every night. They're so good. Use normal 20 for 20% off site wide. You're not going to regret it. Honestly, like, we probably shouldn't say this, but it's our favorite sponsor.
It really is. They are so awesome, and they're super comfortable. I went to Machu Picchu in them. I sleep in them every single day. I work out in them, and they don't bunch up. They're great. Literally the best thing I've ever worn, ever. So go to undertack.com, promo code normal20. They're really great.
Honestly, you're not going to regret it.
Modal, some kind of material I've never heard of.
It's magic elf fabric.
Magic.
Yeah, it's really good.
You should check them out. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why you haven't already. We talk about them so much. Mm-hmm. I did actually buy 8 pairs of them, intending to give them out for Christmas, and I forgot.
Give me some. I don't have any.
I'll give you some.
Yeah, I'll have them.
They're so good.
Some of the new ones, not the ones you wore already.
Wow. I broke those ones.
You'll get what you get.
Maybe I can sell them on eBay. I can sell these Machu Picchu QB undertacks.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
They'll be at, of course, a discount after that.
No, discount. Those are going up in price, man.
Those are increasing in value.
Those are increasing in value as soon as I take them off.
Does that work for everybody? Could I sell my underwear at increased
yours are going to be way more expensive than mine.
Well, damn, I didn't know that.
Maybe we have a side hustle going. We could wear Undertack and sell Undertack.
Normal
underwear. Undertack. Hey, man, I'm just saying the internet exists and people have interest.
Hey,
okay.
Help.
This went viral over the weekend. A photo, sky view, top down photo of an empty lot that had the word help all over it and massive logs or something, kind of like a Robinson Crusoe. You know, you're flying over and you see help drawn on the ground. And it also said Traffico. So people kind of started,
and
it's
LAPD.
And LAPD.
Yeah.
This happened in California. And people on the internet, they do what they do. They start trying to connect the dots and figure out what it is. They're like, is this a traffic?
Yeah, sexual trafficking.
Like, what is this?
I've seen it all over the internet.
What's going on? Well, let's play the video. I think we did eventually get an answer of what happened.
I don't know.
Okay, what's the name of the dog?
Sus.
Sus?
Yeah,
and
Sus.
Sus belongs to someone here? Sorry, man.
Yeah, careful. Careful. Yeah, Sus belongs to, she has an owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the dog?
That dog is named Sus. And Sus has an owner.
That is a bright dog. I don't know. I've lived in California. I figured they just had a mortgage.
I hate living in this trailer park.
Help! Everybody wants to know why there's the help sign. You see all those helps?
Oh, this one guy, he puts that.
She's the madam for sure.
Yes.
Okay, that's what they told me too.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So there's a guy named Jose who just keeps putting help.
Yes, he does that.
And is Jose
just what
here?
he does.
He's not
Is he
here,
okay?
Like on that side of, like under the bridge, like.
And he just messes around.
Always writes that down. Yes, all the time.
The reason people are probably coming today is because they put it online.
Yeah, no, he's the one that puts that all the time. But he puts that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, he writes it everywhere.
It used to be a really beautiful place, and now it just looks like a scene from The Penguin.
It's like a shanty town.
Yeah.
Human trafficking. That's what everybody's saying online, is that they're worried about it. Is it that, or is it like a prank? I guess
we don't know. I mean,
he's artistic.
For some reason,
a message.
It's been years that he's been doing that.
It's been on
for years.
You clearly have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm going to keep bothering you.
I think she's drunk.
For what reason? I do not know.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it just turned out to be
That was about 3.5 minutes longer than it needed.
Homeless man. It was just a homeless man doing his thing.
That was a very circular conversation.
It really was. So when people want to know what's going on, well, I don't know. But people want to know what's going on. Well, I don't know. But people want to know.
It's this homeless guy. I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's like, what? I don't think she knows, sir. I think it's just interesting that people will take something.
I'm lonely.
and create a whole narrative around it. It's interesting.
Yes.
But it's just a crazy man.
I know. That's
I don't know what it means. Maybe Traffico literally.
I would rather
like
be,
Maybe
like, to borrow a phrase from Pete Holmes, impregnated by wonder by that story than know the actual reasons.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
it's like Occam's razor. Like I think every conspiracy might just be an old crazy.
It's just boring sometimes. Yeah. Like that face on Mars. I'm like, oh no, it's when you can zoom in a little bit more. Now that we have better cameras, it was just dirt that looked kind of like a.
When you look at it at literally any other angle possible, it doesn't look like a face.
I have this theory that like every big conspiracy theory in history is just boils down to.
That's a theory.
It is. Theory. It's a conspiracy theory. That it just boils down to incompetence. Yeah. Covering up incompetence. That seems more likely. Human beings hate incompetence and hate looking stupid. And I feel like most of the time they're just trying to cover that up.
I think this is my theory on it. My conspiracy theory on it is I know a lot of people think that there's like this massive cabal of bad guys in a dark room somewhere. They're all.
Thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate you. We love every single one of you.
Yes. And they're the ones that are causing everything that's bad. It's like every time something bad happens, tongue punch. So every time something bad happens, it's like those guys are the ones that are doing it. I don't think that's the case. I think it is a combination of incompetence. There's a lot of massive incompetence. There's a Occam's something. It's not Occam's razor. It's somebody else's razor. It's like don't contribute incompetence to malice. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. So I think the majority of what happens that's bad is
don't attribute to malice what can be attributed to malice, to incompetence.
So I think the majority of it is incompetence, but there are a lot of people that are legitimately bad people that will use incompetence as a shield to then get whatever they want done for themselves. And this could be somebody that's a president or somebody that is a business person or in the government, and they're just using the smoke shield of massive incompetence and stupid people to go, all right, well, I'll get this done and I can lobby for my thing so I can blame use this my on that. Insider trading. I think that's what's going on most of the time. And then, evil flows in the same direction. So it feels like there's one entity guiding
doing all of it,
which there is. It's called the devil. Doing bad stuff. Okay, so.
I mean, to me, it's like some things aren't even theories. They're just actual conspiracies. But a lot of things don't bother to account, that our theories don't bother to account for just how messy real life actually is. It's like complaining about like story structure. Real life would be the worst story ever.
Be boring.
It'd be the most nonsensical Neil Breen plot.
That's what makes him brilliant. That's what makes him so smart.
And David Lynch.
Yeah.
There's no point. It doesn't make sense.
But yeah, so I think that a lot of people, that's something I've been trying to decipher in my own brain. Because there's been points, where I've gone down the conspiracy road where, oh man, everything does seem like it's connected. There is some organization behind it. But then I'm like, I feel like it's a lot of just opportunistic evil people doing evil things that obviously that's what they're
9/11 excluded because that was a psyop.
Well, there's things that are, like you just said, legitimate conspiracies that have been proven to be conspiracies, but they're not all connected necessarily. Like they're connected through just like their bad events that we don't like. But
that's one of the worst things.
Going like, do that and do that and do that.
I've always been very conservative, but I was like, I guess you would say blue-pilled in the sense of like, the story is probably or at least, Murphy's Law or like the simplest explanation is probably the most realistic one. But then it's like when you start finding out things actually happened, like MK Ultra stuff where you're just like, oh,
you're like, damn, some of those things.
Damn it. I have to believe those guys now.
So
I got to be one of those guys now.
I understand the question.
To me, that's a lot better. To me, that's a lot better, too, because it's very weird to see someone, like I'm a huge Bill Burr fan, and it's very weird to see like the young guy pivot from, and regardless of like political affiliation, it's very weird to see somebody pivot from being that to, they got it all figured out.
Yeah.
That blows.
What a great job they did in L.A. Great job, Bill. Everybody did it perfectly. But yeah, so that's why I like my own thing. And I know a lot of people, like my good friend Adam Krigler, he's like, no, there's for sure an Illuminati type, like behind the scenes shadow government thing. And, I understand having that point of view because like it does seem like a lot of things are flowing in the same direction. But I just don't think it's.
I'm like, how much of that is in the shadows? Exactly, is what I'm saying.
It's coming out more.
Yeah.
Lately.
It's some of these people are so massively incompetent, and then we see it so.
Well, that's when you see when you see Biden's speech on the way out being about an oligarchy, the danger of an oligarchy.
Well, he signs off pardons for his entire family, dating back to the 2014, where we started manipulating Ukraine, and who else had some labs in the Ukraine developing some kind of, I don't know, bioweapon? Would that be Fauci? Oh, he also pardoned him. So it's like there are people that are working together to do evil things, but I don't think every single bad thing is all connected to one person or one group of people. I think there's cells of different groups of people that are doing evil things.
That seems the most realistic.
Yeah, and realistic is not always fun to.
Well, no, and I love conspiracy theories.
Whatever.
They're fun. Yeah. I love thinking about those kind of things. I think they do open up your mind to actually thinking about like not trusting certain groups of people and really thinking about things critically. And that's not always a bad thing. I think when you get carried away with it, though, it kind of muddies the waters.
Mass media. We trusted mass media so much. Legacy media from like the inception of it. Back when it used to be, I don't know if it ever was. Objective. And
it was never objective. No, it was always.
You would hope that it would.
Well, the thing is, and again, and I'll reference Mal's again, but it's a thing. I did like a book report about yellow journalism when I was in 8th grade, and the thing is, you're supposed to believe that yellow journalism was bad, and it led to the Spanish-American War. But after that, we realized how bad it was, and it never happened again.
Right.
Is that Asian journalism?
Yeah, no.
Is that from Asia?
I was William Randolph Hearst, and it came from the yellow journalism because the first ever comic strip was a comic strip called The Yellow Kid.
Oh, and Hearst was one of those old families that are connected to the Bilderbergers.
Indeed, they are.
It all connects.
Well, so it's the opposite of what you just said.
Yeah. Yes. See, that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to fall down that rabbit hole. You go, oh man, oh, and there's a lot of assumptions too that I find in these. Like it's all connected. And you try to get down to like the core of the belief is like where are these two things? You say they, right? Like they are all doing these things, and this thing is connected to this thing, and this old family is an old family, so that means that they must be working with the Rockefellers, and the Rockefellers are and it's like, but do you have any actual connections between those? And maybe you do. I want to help. I'm sure I'm going to get destroyed in the chat because people want to be.
I mean, if you guys know, please tell us, because we would love to know.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments.
I'm not going to say there's not some weird shit going on, because that's for sure happening, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be level-headed about it.
The best thing you can do to combat that is never make a profile pic for yourself. Always have an anonymous profile pic.
Yes.
Like an otter.
Spend all day on the internet arguing about it.
Yes.
With like-minded people. Not your enemies. People who agree with you about 3/4 to 9/10 of the things. You just split hairs with them about the little things that you don't agree on, like your mortal enemies. That's the best way to go about this.
Yes.
Exactly.
To the detriment of your family and career.
Get a hard jump to Anthony Mackie, the star of Captain America, Brave New World, which it used to be called. It's not Brave New World. What's the other? New World Order. Speaking of conspiracy theories, he was being interviewed in the upcoming movie where he's playing Captain America, but he's not Captain America. And he said this. It got people a little riled. You can play the clip.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependable. It's kind of, this is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons, that's not a sword, and that princess is not there. And all of his little dreams were dashed. So, you know, as an actor, I feel like our job is to get back to the day where we see that dragon and we slay that dragon to save that princess. And that's kind of what this movie was for me.
Furthermore, Batman does not represent bats.
For sure.
Spider-Man, nothing to do with spiders. Burger King.
He's just a king.
Neither royalty,
okay.
nor a carnivore.
This is my conspiracy theory on Anthony Mackie's. I don't think he meant to say
salad
what
place.
He
Goddamn.
They provide healthy food. I don't think he meant what he said.
I mean,
although I don't blame anybody for being like, fuck you, you're a celebrity. Why'd you say that? You said specifically it should not be America when the name is Captain America. What I think he said. And he has a long track record of saying kind of like things off the cuff and being not very eloquent. If you follow like all the pop culture stuff. So
I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt on occasion, because I'm a big fan of Louis C.K. and who's said some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
But he'll say it from a place of saying something and then taking a hard stance on it to walk his way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, as like a thought exercise. So it's like, it's stupid and I don't agree, but I'm like, okay, let's.
I think this is my hypothesis of what I think Anthony Mackie meant by that clip is Captain America means a lot of different things to him, and America shouldn't be the only thing, or isn't the only thing that it means. I think that is what he meant. But what he said was America shouldn't be one of those things.
Yeah.
And then you can tell after he says that, he goes into this weird tangent about what it is to act and wanting to get back to the place where you were a kid playing dress up or pretend in your front yard and killing a dragon and trying, like, he went on this whole tangent thing. So like, I think he misspoke. And then he tried to be like, oh man, how do I get out of this? How do I,
he's going to be teaming up with the old war machine soon. Terrence Howard.
Yeah, like just gobbledygook there for a second, and he just walked it back. So I think that's what happened. Anthony Mackie seems to be, on all accounts, seems to be an okay dude. I don't think he has any malice like that. I wouldn't say that, especially right now, it would be an absolute moronic thing to say after the election and after all that stuff and after it's been proved that nobody gives a fuck what celebrities think, to then say Captain America doesn't represent, shouldn't represent America. Yeah. And I just think that would be so massively stupid. So I think
that's really selling short the narcissism of the average actor. But
good point. So like that's why I totally think like people out there going like, oh, what the fuck this guy, I don't want to watch the movie. Like, why is he saying this? I mean, that's literally what he said. So people taking it at face value, that's what he said. That's what he would intend to mean. I'm just trying to be like, I think maybe he didn't mean
Devil's advocate, yeah.
I think he didn't mean it. Because I've seen other interviews, and he's like he seems to be a good guy, and he seems to just flub up every once in a while.
Oh shit! Did you guys see that?
Hey, look,
Quentin Tarantino is saying that he's working on a play now, and he's not going to do.
He's not doing his 9th movie.
His 10th, isn't it his 10th?
I thought maybe is it his 10th?
Because his 10th one is supposed to be like his last one, right?
Yeah,
he's only doing 10. He's done 9. Hasn't
so he's not doing his last movie, and he's doing a play instead.
Yeah, because he said. I have it in my notes. But he was basically saying that what is a movie anymore? Basically, it goes to the movie theater for 2. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
He goes to the movies for 2 weeks, and then you get to see it. Watch it.
What the fuck is a movie? Okay. This is the last fucking year of movies. Okay. What the fuck is a movie now? Somebody plays it in the theaters for a token release for 4 fucking weeks, and by the second week you can watch it on streaming. I was doing an impression. I was reading off the prompter, and it ran out of text because I'm not an improviser.
He's right. He's right though.
No, he's absolutely right. Like,
and the movie industry is like absolutely tanking right now. This year has been worse than the last year. Like, it was box office wise worse than last year, which people were saying this was the year that it was going to be rising and it was going to be doing better. It was going to recover from the strikes and recover from COVID lockdown and all that stuff, which they're still like dealing with right now in the movie industry. And it's done worse this year than ever. So it is an interesting, like, what is cinema right now.
People have been coming back.
Care.
People have been coming back. I've watched movies in the cinema. Have you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean Nosferatu.
Cinephiles.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The last two movies,
on average though,
I see a movie like once every couple of years now.
When you're a parent.
Well, I mean, it was before we had our daughter though too. And Garrett finds time. He's got 4 kids. You're a parent. We're all parents.
Yeah.
But I just like, for one thing, it is easier to do it at home, and for another thing, like other people sour me on the experience.
It's true.
Of the communal experience of being in the theater.
People don't respect it as much as they used to.
Don't respect it.
It used to be like, we're going to come and sit down.
We're paying our money to do this. So
we're going to
it's
join
like a thing.
together and watch this movie, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to cry, and we're going to whatever together. And it used to be a magical thing. And like over the last, and I always talk about this because I used to work at a movie theater for like 10 years. I spent a lot of time in that field. It's like it used to be a magical thing. And then it slowly became a corporate thing just over the time period that I worked there. Like the way the projectors worked, the way all of the presentation of movies changed. It all became very like corporate, digital, flat, emptiness. And you didn't have any of the magic that it used to have.
Movies used to be movies too. Is the other thing.
At the same time, the movie industry decided at the worst possible time in human history to start like browbeating on everybody in the audience and telling them how to think and how to feel and making not just that, but doing it very poorly, like writing horrible movies and producing horrible movies. So we have like a lot of different.
So of course nobody wants
factors.
to pay their money to see it in an economy when people can barely afford groceries.
Yeah, when you could watch a movie like Tarantino said, like 2 weeks after the movie came out at your home, where you probably have a better system
viewing
and you
experience.
don't have some asshole on their phone right behind you talking on their phone or whatever it is. So it's like, yeah, of course people are going to stay home.
The nice thing about going to the movie theater, especially, say there's not a lot of people around or the people are exceptionally well behaved in 2025, is the commitment you have to make.
Yeah.
To investing in watching the movie and making an experience about it and turning your phone off and being in the dark room and focusing on this big thing and ingesting it as a whole instead of like, oh, I'll pick it up here. I'll have it on as like as streaming where you're just like, oh, I'll have it on in the background. And then, it's, and that's the other thing with streaming, a lot of these shows are really great, but do you ever just watch a show and you get to that episode where you're like, oh, this is the filler.
Yeah, we're just buying time here.
This could have been an hour and a half, but we've stretched it out to 12 hours because that's what you do now.
Just it's like the medium is completely, and there's a bunch of articles from inside Hollywood, like Hollywood Reporter, and we just did a video on Nerdrotic about Vulture, which is like, these are like, Vulture's owned by Vox Media, and they're all saying this, like movie theaters and movies particular are not being, like, they're not the center focus anymore. They used to be. That's why you're seeing celebrities they don't have as much pull because nobody cares about who the celebrity is because they don't go to the movies anymore.
It's honestly kind of nice to see that side of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like we built up this like big mystique on people, and we thought that they were better than us.
No,
and they're just people. They're just dumb
people.
Dumb. Like Anthony Mackie. He's not perfect. I'm sure he's just a dude that said something dumb.
What is a celebrity now anyway, too? And it's always like, to me, it's the pejorative like, well, I've never even heard of you kind of thing.
Yeah, like that one chick,
Avery.
Yeah, which was my
like MS or something. What was it?
But it's just like, that's just an example for me of how that's just an entirely different universe than the one I inhabit. Yeah,
that's the internet effect too. It's like the people that watch this show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We really appreciate you guys watching the show. It's a silo. It's like you have your audience, the things that they watch is not going to be the people that watch Jake Paul and then there might be some crossover, but they may be completely separated. And then you have people that are watching streamers that are makeup artists or, it's like there's so many different avenues for people to watch stuff and they get siloed into their separate content.
And the very best part is you can easily, intimately interact with people you're dangerously obsessed with.
Yes.
With the touch of a button.
Right there.
That's the best part.
Which you could do below right now in the comments section.
Do it. okay with this.
I've been thinking like introspectively about what this is, and it is an interesting thing. It's like we are beaming straight to. It's like all the people that are out there that are watching it. None of those matter except for you, right? And it's like that's how I watch stuff. I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, that guy's talking right to me. No, he's not. You know, he's talking to everybody, and he's talking to a camera. But like at the same time, it feels like we're having a conversation, and I don't know. It's an interesting thing that.
Well, and the interesting thing to me too is I like the idea of people connecting with people for who they really are.
Yeah, the authenticity,
with who they think they are, not who they want them to be, or not who they play. Yeah, you know. And I think that's an actual interesting part about this new world that we live in. It really.
Yeah.
Authenticity is the currency of the future. Robert Meyer Burnett, content creator out there. He worked in the movie industry. He's a great dude, and that he's been coined to say that because that is really what it is. It's like that's why the Joe Rogans of the world blow up. That's why YouTube is surpassing movies as relevant. That's why it surpassed music as being relevant, more relevant, is because you get that authenticity.
And also, too, it's like Joe Rogan is the biggest podcast in the world, and break it down to you. I mean, if you try to break it down to somebody, it's like, he's this bow hunting, LSD comedian, MMA guy.
Yeah.
Like, who does that sound like that's for?
Yeah, like nobody. But it's weird. But you know, he's an
authentic man,
authentic dude that asks questions.
Who's interested?
People love that
in the world.
Curiosity.
So it's an interesting navigate like where we're going to go in the future. What's going to be the most relevant thing? I think it is it's authenticity. It's how much you can be a real person and not be a fake. And you can see it on YouTube when you have a creator that's huge that builds up an audience off of a certain persona that they put out. That people think, because it says YouTube, they expect you're putting forth not a persona, not a fake thing. You're putting forth you, right? So when that facade ends up being incorrect and people find out that you have been lying to them the whole time, then that audience will flip on you, and you see it all the time.
They'll flip on you, and then one thing will lead to another, and we'll be doing a show at the place.
Oh my God. That isn't what I was talking about, but it's relevant.
See Brave the Dark this weekend at angelstudios.com/normal. That's where you can get tickets. See Brave the Dark.
That's a true story. It's a true story. It's from Angel Studios. They're making movies, which is interesting because we're talking about this movies topics. Yeah. Angel Studios, it seems to be like not made fun of like old Christian movies used to be made fun of for good reason, because those movies were cringe as hell.
It
has production value. It has stories. It has actors. This movie, it has Jared Harris in it.
Well, Angel Studios also does the Dry Bar comedy specials, which are these clean comedy specials. They look fantastic. Derek Richards has one if you want to check it out. Adam Yenser, who's been on the show, has a fantastic one also. And they look good. They've just really, from what I've seen, done wonders for certain people's comedy careers and really catapulted them several levels. And now it's like you see too a thing where it's like somebody like Adam Carolla is actually doing one. And if we're plugging Angel Studios, so I feel like I'm on topic.
I'm all about plugging that.
But yeah, it's very, very much respected.
Giggity.
Because it's like,
and this
it's the real deal.
Is a true story about a troubled teen struggling to survive in a world that's let him down. They get great actors in these things, great production value. So get tickets today at angel.com/normal.
Actually contributing to culture instead of just commenting on it like we do. You see, it's all a big hypocrisy thing on the internet. Look at
isn't it?
I want to see more vegetables in robes.
I like VeggieTales, all right? That was my stuff back in the day. VeggieTales. Should we get to the end of the world?
I think so.
Let's do it. Matt, do you want to do this one?
Absolutely. All right. Based on Quentin Tarantino's movies, what is some dialogue you might hear in his stage play? Garrett.
Royale with or without cheese? That is the question.
Angela.
Stella, show me your feet. That's it.
And I'm just going to say the N-word a lot.
Highly likely. See you later.
Good night, everyone.